What's up, everybody? It's your girl Q1, and I am back with Tyler Perry Sisters, Season 10, Episode 2, Guilty. Before I start, y'all make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Click the notification bell button so you can be updated on every video I drop. Make sure you like all the videos so I can stay in the algorithm. I think we getting into a little bit of the episode. It wasn't bad. That's all. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was more surrounded around around Andy and her wayward sister. Okay. Here we go. So the episode starts with everybody. They're still at the hospital, awaiting what the cold blue was. And Rich arrives. I mean, he's aggravated. He's loud. He wants to know what's going on. All of the things. So Maurice is still sitting there. He was just so sad. And he was like, Sabrina was more than his manager. She was his closest friend. She has always had his back no matter what. And we've seen that over the years. Danny says Sabrina is our rock. Now, let me keep going. Maurice said she had the biggest heart, and he did say that he loved her, but he said, I don't even remember if I ever told her. Yeah, because you spent most of your time calling her a bitch. Excuse my language, but over this since we met you, that's all you've been calling her. Okay, ragtagging her. Okay, dogging out her clothing selection. But I get it. You guys were friends. And that was how your friendship was ran. Anyway, Danny just kept saying how she regret hanging up in Sabrina's face. And, Zach was like, don't beat yourself up. Everybody was just trying to, have Danny not beat herself up. And, all of the things. So, Rich is talking about, how he want to make things right with Sabrina and how they lost so much time due to all of his foolishness. And so Danny's phone rings and Tony immediately gets mad because in his brain he thinks that it's the police dude, Shorty. Okay. So Danny apologizes. The way Maurice was looking, it was just like really, that was his facial expression to me. Zach, because Tony told her, we still over, just really piping up at not the right time. Read the room, not the right time. If you pissed, that's fine. We understand that. But take your ass somewhere, go home or something. He was pissing me off. Okay. Yeah, go home, sir. So Zach was like, whoa, you gonna have to take it down 1, 2, or 3. You tripping. You tripping. Y'all know he loved Danny. So Zach gonna protect. Anyway, Tony tried to defend himself and was like, but y'all don't know what happened. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter right now. Handle that shit later, but now it doesn't matter. So Andy tells Tony, you've been an asshole, and Danny needs your support right now and not your wrath. I get that you mad at her, but sir, please take that somewhere else. Anyway, Dr. Samuels comes out to let everybody know that Sabrina is in a coma, but there is some brain activity, and she was revived 3 times, so twice in the hospital and once at the scene. And he tells everybody to reach out to family. We find out she was living with her grandmother. And so her grandmother passed. So, the girls are the only family she had. So Dr. Vaughn, he has this little small sidebar with Dr. Samuels. And he asks, how was everything looking? And he was like, not good. So in the next scene, we see Cheyenne. She's looking through Andy's clothes at this moment. And I'm going to just say this. I kept my opinion about Cheyenne, and I said I was going to try to keep my opinion as the season go on, but this she gives entitled, and she gonna get on my nerves. She, like Andy, was very wayward. She's gonna get on my nerve. She is gonna tap dance on my nerve. But I also understand that Cheyenne apparently is like a 20-something-year-old young woman. Anyway, my question is, why was everybody talking in past tense like Sabrina is already gone? Like, I don't know if that was supposed to be a part of their lines. But I'm like, why? She is. She's still, I mean, physically she's not, but she's still alive. Anyway, I was just looking at Maurice and Danny. I think at this point everybody was getting ready to leave. And I'm just like, oh my God. Y'all two are not about to make me cry. Like, y'all are not about to make me cry. Ugh. So Dr. Vaughn, he wanted to explain things to Andy, but she was like, I don't want to talk about it. You know, she's just at that space right now. So Tony takes Danny home, apologizes to Danny about what happened about what's happening with Sabrina, not about his behavior at the hospital. And he was like, I'm not a dick. You are a dickhead. Okay? Excuse my language, y'all, but Tony was yeah, no. And so he saw his bag on Danny's couch. He grabbed his bag and he's just very, dismissing her. And I need Danny to see that. Like, let this go. Let this go. Just be by yourself. Call Creisha and get back in your therapy sessions with Creisha. Please write that in. Anyway, Maurice goes home to his princess treatment by Dylan. Dylan made him some tea. Dylan made him some food. Maurice looked at that tea and was like, I saw Get Out. What is in this tea? So he made him some chamomile, something to rest so he could sleep. Chamomile, I forgot what else he had in it. But it was all the ingredients like for a tea that allows you to be calm and gives you rest and all of that. So Andy arrived, Andy gets home. She tells her mom what happened. And I promise y'all, as her mom is sitting there watching, it almost made me feel like she's frustrated with Andy because Andy have this love for her girls that she wants Andy to have for Cheyenne. So, her mom tells her to stay strong and keep the faith. So Cheyenne is listening, and you can actually tell as she's in the back listening, she looked like she seems as though she feels a way about not exactly about what's going on, but about her sister showing care to women who are not her blood sisters. It's just an observation for me. Anyway, Val thinks that Andy is envious of Karen, and she feels like Andy wants, the husband and the kids and the life. And Andy, it was just a whole, no, I'm not with all of that. It is what it is. So Val wants Andy to go down to the church to pray. And Andy wants wine. She wants to guzzle down a bottle of her expensive wine that she saved for moments like this. She tells her mom she is mentally and physically exhausted. Again, we are coming off the back of almost losing Karen, having to fight with the doctor about all of this, having to fight her job in order for her to help Karen, having to almost being kidnapped. What else happened? She watched people expire in front of her. Her best friend lost her baby. Now Sabrina, her car blew. Like, Andy just been kind of going through it, So I bet there's a lot of exhaustion. Okay, so she's lashing out at this point. She's lashing out at her mom and her sister. And then she was really mad because her sister drank her expensive bottle of wine. So she was just yelling at this point. And Cheyenne gives entitled. Like, she gives entitled. I can't wait to find out about this story. Anyway, Tony goes and checks on Rich. Tony is still pissed off about what Danny did, and he said what she did was an immature guy move. But if it was you you would have been okay with doing it. Just like Rich was saying, that I did the same thing to Danny, and to Sabrina, and he was like, technically, you and Sabrina wasn't together. Rich was like, we only broke up 24 hours, and I hooked up with Penelope. So you're okay to excuse Rich's behavior, but you don't want to excuse Danny's behavior. And he decided to say, she don't like your kids because your kids were bad. They were thieves. They were liars. Your kids was bad. They was disrespectful. Okay? You didn't even have no control over your kids. Okay? So let's not go there. Let's not go there. I'm just saying, he should still just really trying to make a case. If you don't want to be with Danny no more, don't be with Danny no more. And that should be the end of that. You don't need to have a discussion or try to convince us or nobody else about nothing. Because we don't want you with her. Okay? We just want her to really move on. But the same way she did Preston, you just got the same treatment. So I was just watching I've been watching old seasons on BET Drama. That's all they've been playing. So yeah. Anyway, Rich tell Tony that he needs to let everything go because life is too short and he needs to move on with Danny. And I'm just like, no, he can move on without Danny. Okay, life is short, but it ain't that damn short. Okay? Anyway, Andy, she wakes up, she goes into the kitchen, and she sees Cheyenne cooking, and her mom is in there with Cheyenne while they cook. So she asks, why are you cooking in my kitchen? And, and Cheyenne was like, I just wanted to cook you dinner just to say I'm sorry for drinking your bottle of wine. And she was like, you drank my $500 bottle of wine. And her mama was like, I don't know why you would buy it. Why you would pay for wine that's $500 because she can afford it. Anyway, Belle lets the ladies know that tomorrow night she'll be leaving for her chemotherapy. I don't know why I wrote physical therapy. She will be leaving to start her physical therapy. Her chemotherapy. And then Andy was like, listen, okay, you and Cheyenne? And so she was like, no, Cheyenne gonna stay here in Atlanta. So Cheyenne was like, listen, I want to see what's out here, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, Andy, like, what the hell you think you finna be staying? Okay? So Val decided to, again, overbearing, impeding on this lady's space. She tells Andy, she'll be staying with you. You a lie. You's a lie, because she's not going to be staying here. Okay? The way she'll be at Piedmont Park. Like, listen, I ain't never really been to Atlanta. I've been to Atlanta once. And I ain't never been to Piedmont Park. But I heard she'll go bump with somebody at Piedmont Park. Okay? And let me tell y'all, the only reason I know about Piedmont Park, I think, is because y'all remember last year they were sending out the notice that Rashida was supposed to be performing at Piedmont Park. I'm sorry. Anyway, Andy tells them that this is her home and nobody didn't discuss anything with her. She said that my home is my sanctuary. It's my peace. It's my space. My sanctuary and my peace and my space. And so Cheyenne tells her mom, Andy wouldn't have never went for it. Well, yeah, you knew. So if y'all known that, there should have been a plan in place where you can find you somewhere. But because Cheyenne give me, I'm a bum. Yeah. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm got to be the way I used to be hard on Andy. Baby, I'm about to give Cheyenne the business and I do not care. Like, I do not care. I'm about to give Cheyenne big business. Anyway, So Andy lets them know y'all both made arrangements that affect me and my home without even asking me, which I felt like was extremely rude, especially of that damn mama. You feel like because they are sisters that they are supposed, Andy just supposed to open up her house to her. Like Andy is supposed to be responsible for Cheyenne or something. Cheyenne is a grown woman. Seems like she make more dummy grown decisions, and you want Andy to be responsible. Yeah, no. Cheyenne finna be a problem. She finna be a problem. Anyway, Cheyenne tell Danny, F you and your house, and run off. Me? F me in my house? Girl, the way she came here with a plastic bag, that's what you'll be leaving with, right? With your mammy. Okay? You need to go help your mama out. But I'm pretty sure she must have got into some trouble out there, and that's why she probably can't go back. Like, I don't know. It's something fishy, and we need to find out what's going on. Y'all have Cheyenne on mute way too long for me. Y'all need to start having her open her mouth and talk. Okay? What's her problem? Anyway, and I feel like since Val is sick, I'm going to agree with everybody. She used her sickness to try to get Andy to take care of that sister. And she don't want, while she's sick, I believe she don't even want to be bothered with Cheyenne like that. She don't want to have to deal with Cheyenne and her foolishness while this lady is on chemo. But you created that monster. Anyway, Belle tells Andy, you hurt your sister's feelings. So, girl, Belle, when is Val last episode? Okay, because that lady been getting on my damn nerves. Okay. Val tells Andy that she has more love for her college sisters than she does Cheyenne. And again, they have nothing in common. But I'm pretty sure they do. They both a little wayward. Okay? You have raised some wayward daughters. I'm pretty sure you tried to stuff church down their throat and they went in the opposite direction. Okay? Anyway, she asked if something happened between her and Cheyenne, and Andy said they just both are different people. I feel like Tyler Perry is going to use something from one of his plays where both of the sisters, where Cora had both of the daughters in Medea's family reunion, and both of the daughters were different. They were like, one was on drugs, and the other one had the husband that was beating on her. But they both were, essayed by their mom's husband. And I feel like that's going to be the situation with Andy and Cheyenne. I'm just guessing, y'all. This is me guessing because Tyler likes to pull from the plays. Yes, I know Homeboy is the only writer on here. But I also understand that Tyler pulls from his plays. He sure do. So, I'm thinking it's going to be something like that because Andy did say some things had happened to her down in college. So, I'm pretty sure the reason why she didn't look back, the reason why she didn't contact her sister because something happened in that house with that daddy. I don't know. But I hope we find out this season. Like, we just need to know the full story between, and I could be wrong. It could be something totally different. But I don't know. But we'll see. So, Andy tells Val that, she was like, it's my fault that I went to school and I focused and I became somebody. I'm somehow responsible for Cheyenne, and I don't like that. Because I didn't call, does that mean Cheyenne went and done things that she wasn't supposed to do because I stopped calling? Yeah, you can't put that type of responsibility on Andy like that. Like, that's your kid. It's crazy. Anyway, her mama begs her to let her sister stay until she get on her feet. Andy says, no. She was like, she don't want a roommate. So Val pipes up and says, she's not a roommate, she's your sister. And I would have been like, Mama, who the hell you yelling at? Because I know you ain't talking to me. Because you can go right now. You can go to the Motel 6 where they always leave the light open. Sorry. I'm telling y'all, Miss Sister Valerie has pissed me off. Which means that this episode was better than I thought. Okay, if you can piss me off, the episode is quite alright. Anyway, so Maurice called Pam to tell her what happened with Sabrina. And Pam is like, oh my God, Maurice, I'm so sorry. And, he lets Pam know, listen, I know we were supposed to get this whole shop thing under control, but I'm going to do a lot more working at the bank until Sabrina gets better. And I just want to see how they're going to navigate with that, because he was supposed to be at the, in the shop. So I don't know. We'll see. So Pam said, I will put Sabrina in the name. What she said, I'm going to put Sabrina's name in a prayer box if I go to church. I said, this damn Pam. Bro, I'm so sick of Pam. I love Pam, but she my girl say, if she go to Pam, listen, all you have to do is just have a little conversation with Jesus. That's it. Just have a little conversation with Jesus, and that's all. That's all. And so we get to the next scene. Andy is crying, and she calls Karen to let Karen know what happened. We didn't get the full, but I did see somebody on Twitter, and shout out to them, because they said, there's AI, so it could have been what we could have heard Karen's voice, but I guess once you gone, that's it. So Cheyenne comes out of Andy's room with the little pink dress, to go explore the city of Atlanta. She tells Val that she's gonna blow off some steam and have some fun. So Val's like, don't you feel like you out just a little late? She not. She right at her regular scheduled hours. When I tell y'all, Cheyenne gonna have to do a major for me to be on her side, because Cheyenne has thoroughly worked on my nerves, and for that, I'll see it for her, but right now I just don't. Reckless, very reckless. Anyway, Val tells Cheyenne, don't mind Andy, you can still stay here again. Ma'am, this is not your condo. You didn't pay no rent. You ain't paying no mortgage. You ain't paying not a whole ass cent on this lady condo for you to be making decisions on who can stay and who can go. Because you got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. If it was up to me, you'd be gone. So this is what else I have gathered from Cheyenne. She is a brokey that can't afford anything, but she gets by just based on pretty privilege. She uses her pretty privilege to get a lot of things that she wants, which is probably a lot of times she gets herself into a lot of sticky situations. Anyway, Andy tells her mom she needed to tell Karen, and she also told her mom that Karen was trying to come, but she had to convince Karen to stay in Seattle and focus on her and her family, that she can't do much while she's here, because basically, Sabrina's in a coma. So Cheyenne meet this man at that bar that everybody been going to, at the little restaurant bar. So she asked the man to buy her a drink. He bought her a drink, and she wanted to take her mind off things, and he offered her some candy. And I'm like, you don't even know this man like that. You do not know. This is what I'm talking about. Reckless. Now, y'all at a party where you drinking, like, about to have a menage a three or whatever. But he looked like he gave me pimp hoe. Okay, that's what this man gave me. A pimp in a nice suit. Okay? Yeah, he give me pimp hoe. Okay? So you passed out from whatever he has given you, coupled with the alcohol you was drinking. You fall on the bed. Some random could come crawling on top of you. The girl moves you out of the way, and you and her kissing and all of the things. And then we gonna find your raggedy ass getting bailed out of jail. Girl, Cheyenne finna work on my nervous system. I'm telling y'all now. Do not expect me to lay off, because I will not. I will not. Okay? This where the episode ended. It's gonna be a mess next week. And again, y'all, I am always here for the mess that is called Tyler Perry. Anyway, this is your girl Q1 reminding you to keep showing up, keep growing, stay true to yourself, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.